say so. Okay, I'll pause the camera while I prepare the next piece.
Hello and welcome to our channel. We're Jojo and Scott. We live in the Highlands of Scotland. In August last year, we took on a big challenge. We bought a bright yellow van ready to turn into a camper. It's been a much bigger job than we expected, from ripping out the filthy interior, scrubbing away at the grime, to finding some nasty surprises. It's been a hell of a ride, with loads of ups and downs. We'd love for you to join us on this journey as we take a filthy ex-fleet vehicle, strip it back to the basics, and build up a tiny home on wheels. Thank you so much for watching.
Did you actually feel it solidify?
Yep.
It's quite satisfying, isn't it?
So what we're doing here, I realise we haven't explained.
So, yeah, we're good to go. Yeah. This thing here, this is a little gas level gauge. The cables attached to it, though, will connect to a sensor on the inside of the van, whereas this thing sits on the gas tank itself. And I think at the time of installing the gas tank, I pointed at this doodad. This bit here is a little sensor. It'll just tell you how full your tank is. But the cable's on is very short, so we have to extend the cable to be able to reach the sensor that we put inside the van. And that's where this cable is. It actually came with the tank, which is quite handy of them. That's LPG shop. So extra cable on there. We'll put some heat shrink over the connections to keep it all watertight. And yeah, we'll lead this in through the same hole as the gas pipe comes in, close the hole up afterwards, and connect this to all our sensors. So we've got this sensor all soldered up. We've got heat shrink protecting the connections. This section here will actually be inside of the tank cover, so not too worried about it. I'm now going to crawl into the van and post the cable back up to Jojo. Here we have the little sensor. The little sensor sits on this funny base. This thing right here. And it just screws into position right here. Oh. The cable is getting fed through this hole in here, coming out of this thing, and we're then going to feed it up through the floor right there, and that's our regulator, of course. So back over to Jojo on the top side.
Scott has been busy at work today. You can't really see it, but he's been sealing the edges of the counter.
Some little bit sticking out. I have to tidy that up with a knife when it dries.
Yeah, so you're sealing the edge of that counter, and he's also been sealing inside under the cooker so that if we get any gas leaking, hopefully it won't escape into the van. Just taking the masking tape off.
Watch out!
Wet masking tape.
I left the masking tape tub over here.
So yeah, he's going to seal up in and around this bit as well. And this is Maurice. He is a cat, but we don't hold that against him. Okay? Say hello, Maurice.
This is the exhaust on the heater. I'm putting some fire sealant, intumescent sealant. The stuff is meant to like swell up when it gets warm to help make a seal. And for the exhaust, I absolutely don't want this stuff leaking out, because the joint's actually going to be above the floor level of the van. So, need that to be a good seal. So I put some of the sealant on the inside of the pipe as well, just a little bit. Put it on the outside of the exhaust bit. And now I'm Jubilee clipping it. This hole under the cooker here is where the heater is going to be blowing out hot air. So, got a little fan to go on here, and a wooden ring to go in the back to screw into, because this is only 5mm ply. Yeah, I think we're kind of good to go. You just whack that in, you get the screwdriver and screws. Well, that looks tidy. I'm having a tricky time getting these little screws to go in. I'm having to use M10 to M4 reducers on these bolts. Over here, focus. And they're just being a bit tough and not wanting to go in. Jojo came along and saved the day. She got these things to finally catch, so that's this all staying put. Got the cables routed along here through a little hole. I've put a rubber gasket in here just to protect the cables against the wood, and there's just an extra bit of room there to get a cable in to power the cooker. That'll come along later. For now, I'm just hooking this thing up to the gas, and then it's just electrics after that, I think. We'll get the gas guy in to check that it's all okay. There's a lot of wiggling, but I finally got the threads to catch. Now, of course, I don't have a lot of room to move the wrench. Teeny tiny little bit at a time. Not even a sixth of a turn. I'll just be here for a while. That's our little heater now connected up. I think while I'm in this cupboard, I will run a cable in here just to here power this cooker. Then I think it's just electrics after that. Before we stick any gas into this system at all, we're going to get a gas engineer out to test it all, make sure it's not a big bomb disguised as a clever LPG system. I was just clearing up there when I realised that I've forgotten I haven't actually attached the exhaust and air inlet pipes to the underside of the van to tidy them up. So I think I'll deal with this next actually. Might not be that filmable, kind of tricky to film under there. Like any under the van job, that was really painful, but I've managed to get the exhaust and air inlet connected to the underside. I'll see if I can show you. I think this might be one of the best shots I've ever had managed to get of under the van. But over there you can see the silver pipe, that's the exhaust, the black pipe, the air inlet. They're tacked into position and they're going to stay there forevermore. Now getting to work on the control panels. We have the inverter switch, we have the water level indicator, the gas level indicator, and the Propex heater controller. And this is just the cover because I've got the actual circuit board there. Now the cable leading between the heater and that thing is nowhere near long enough, so I'm going to have to extend the cables. Now, here we have, this is the controller cable that's to go to the thermostat for the heater. This cable here is the power cable. That's the other end of the power cable. I'll connect these two together once the thermostat's all set up, but if you're ever hooking up a Propex heater, never power it on without the thermostat controlled, or you'll blow the internal fuse. So I've learned. Or well, from reading online, I haven't actually done it. These are the cables I have to extend up to the little thermostat. Colours and stuff. I found a little picture online of how to wire it.
Tired?
Very.
So Scott's just cutting the hole now for...
This one is for the inverter switch, wherever that's gone to.
I was going to hold it up, but I couldn't find it.
The inverter switch. It's got this kind of clippy thing that goes over the back here.
So we'll be able to control the inverter up there, the heater from there, and we're going to have a water and gas level indicator there.
The heater thermostat is now in position. We've got the clip thing for the inverter control and the wire leading to the inverter all in position. Now we're going to put in, what's this? The water level indicator. I'm going to put in the water level indicator. The instructions said I can use a 50mm hole, so I'm going to do that. That's a hole.
There's a hole.
Almost there. We've done a lot of cable feeding. Look at all this.
So we had to take the pantries out to
Look at all of this. So many cables for these controllers.
It's all the way down there. Loads of cables, and it's all these blooming little tacks here.
Yeah, those cable clips in this narrow space. Tricky.
Because you can't get the hammer in. But yeah, they're all going down and out around there. So we've got the gas level indicator for the gas tank. We've got the heater controller.
Yep.
This is the water level indicator.
Almost ready.
It's almost ready to go. And we're just wiring up the inverter switch.
And that's them all into position. We did damage this panel, just the wood section along here, but it's easy enough to fix. It's wood filler, and when I put this panel up months ago, I didn't actually think that I'd be using this to hold anything. I was really just trying to cover up a space because it was the way the design worked out. So it's actually not attached here, this bit moves. I'll glue it in place, we'll cover it over some more wood filler, paint it, and it'll be great.
So you may have noticed that we have a very narrow gap here down by the cooker, and that was just where we needed the space for the airflow beside the cooker. Got a bit of countertop there. So we were trying to figure out what to do with this cupboard, and we were thinking we could store trays and things in. But even better than that, we came up with the idea to put a towel rail in there. So this one's on sliders, so it'll slide out, so we can attach that in the cupboard, and then we can put our towels on and push it in out the way and close the door on it. The difficulty is obviously getting in there. It's not easy. So whilst we have the pantry drawers out, because we were doing the wiring, we thought we can install this now because we can go in the side there. So that's what we're going to do.
Sweet. That's a little towel rail.
So it doesn't pull out hugely far, but at least it's enough you can get your towels on it and then tuck them out the way.
And we'll have a little door here as well.
Yeah, so I thought that'd be quite good, because there's not normally an awful lot of space to dry your towels in the van. We'll probably hang them up to dry first and then just keep them aired out in there.
Storage. So the sensors are all hooked up now. We've not got the sensors for the water display thing connected to the tank because the tank's not there right now, but the gas sensor should be ready to go, and I've got a little fuse for it, so I'm gonna plug the fuse in. Near you. Now let's power this up and see if the gas sensor gives us a 0 reading.
Look, it's empty!
Oh, that's great.
Which is good because we haven't put anything in the tank, so if it said full, that would be a bit worrying.
Full of hot air. Yeah. Excellent. That's working too. It should be empty because it's not connected to anything. We're now going to set up the fridge. Before we set up the fridge, we haven't actually leak tested the fresh water fill-up point. So we don't have the tank in place, but we've got a bucket here. So we can pour water into the bucket from the outside of the van, make sure it's not leaking, and then we will connect up the wires for the fridge. And then to stop the fridge from sliding around when we're driving, we're going to put a ratchet strap in here.
So that we can strap it down. We've had to take the drawer out as well. So that's,
drawer was in the way.
That's there. Fridge is out the way just now. So I'll leak test that and then pop everything back in.
Yeah. Right, you ready?
Yep. We have a single drip. Scott is investigating.
I have found where the drip was coming from. The drip was coming from this bit right here. That thing is a sort of breather valve that we're meant to connect to the tank. but I've decided I can't be bothered doing it right now, and it's just an exposed hole. So I'm going to put some blue tack on that while we test the rest of this. Whoops. And we'll see how that goes.
I think we need a funnel.
Hello, Van Cat.
You come to help. Don't touch the batteries.
Or will she become a Zap Cat?
Hello, Maurice. Hi. He's in for his daily inspection.
Yes, yes. Van build's going well.
I don't like the fridge here, he says.
This is a terrible place to leave a fridge.
Very good, all in order. How's the sink looking?
Don't care about the sink.
Is that okay?
I don't care about the sink.
Oh, I like a sink. He's a big fan of sinks.
Gosh.
That's your butt. Yeah, we can't put the tap on because we don't have the tank in, I'm afraid. Please, he says.
Want drink?
Oh, you just snotted on the camera.
Oh, nasty. Cat, you're such a strange creature.
This is the cat that's too scared to go in the car.
In van though, oh yeah.
It's like a hybrid, like cross between home and vehicle is okay. Did it pass the inspection? Oh, he hasn't looked in this cupboard yet.
Sounds like a lawnmower struggling.
Like Maurice says, tidy this crap up.
This is a mess. Right, back to sewing stuff. Done.
So this is the ratchet strap we're using to strap the fridge in. We've got the buckle secured on that side between the holes that Scott's drilled. So the idea is that we'll be able to ratchet that in place and that should stop the fridge sliding about. We don't know if we're going to need other anchor points, so we're just going to have to put the fridge in now and try, and then we can take it out and screw it into other bits if necessary.
Sweet. That's how you stop your fridge from running away.
So that's the fridge wired up, strapped into place, and hopefully that'll stop it walking when we go for a drive.
Looks like it stays put when you open the door.
It's good. So that's the fridge wired up, strapped into place. Plumbing's done. That door's on. We need a little magnetic fastener.
Fastener.
Shut up. We need a magnetic fastener to stop the door doing this. That's what we need. And we've just put a drawer front onto this drawer. So this is where the cabinet's been built all wonky. We've put the face on so it looks nice and flush. But we had to do this.
It's a correction. It works.
It's kind of ridiculous. But it looks okay.
We're fine with it.
What the thing we're looking for is when you stand back.
It looks okay.
It looks okay.
And we're going to put a little doorknob onto this section of counter because that's the last hint that it's squint. So we put a doorknob there, then it'll look like it's meant to be that way.
Yeah, so it's all about covering your mistakes and pretending like you built it that way on purpose.
Just a clever design.
An update on the water system. From the sink tap, all the plumbing below is not leaking. We've tested it, driven around, it's fine. The issue we have is the bit here that comes out the wall and connects down to the water tank. So we did originally have it connecting in that corner down there. Now we bought this tank connector and fitted it onto all the pipes. Those bits were not leaking. The bit that was coming out of the tank was originally leaking, but we'd managed to successfully seal that up. But the bit that attaches to the tap, there were like two bits that could go together, and we could not, for the life of us, get them to stop leaking. We tried Sikaflex, we tried solvent weld glue, we tried plumber's tape, we tried wrenches, we tried everything we could think of to prevent water leaking, and we'd attach the tank and it would look okay for the first hour or so, but then slowly little drips of water would start to come through, and because the connection was at the bottom of the tank, if that got weaker, we could have a flood here. And as you can see, we've got all our electrical cables, which is not safe at all. So we had to come up with a completely new idea altogether. So we bought an end cap to go on this part of the tank connector. Now we've had that sitting there for a week and there's no leaks there at all. That's capped off. The new plan is to go in through the top. So we're going to drill a hole, put a tank connector in there, and feed the pipe in that way down to the bottom of the tank. Then if we experience a similar problem with leaking, the only leaks that are going to come from it is splash up from the water, which is much less dangerous than leaking from the bottom. So we ordered a tank connector, waited a week. It arrived. It was the wrong size. So we've had to wait another week, and Scott's got it here.
Now, this is not the same style of tank connector we originally ordered. The style we originally ordered had both of these kind of push-fit connectors either side, but they don't seem to make a 15mm connection like that. We've made our own! We're going to put this tank connector in it. It's got a 1/2" thread, so we'll then put 1/2" push-fit connectors on the end of it that go to 15mm pipe. One's going to be on the outside of the tank, one's going to be on the inside of the tank. The inside bit is going to have a bit of pipe going to the bottom of the tank.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
The moral of the story is, buy standard plumbing bits. Do not buy plumbing supplies from camping shops.
Yeah.
And do not try and use the bits that come with the water tank. Because, as a very wise commenter pointed out on our last video or the video before?
Last one.
The last one. They said, just go for standard plumbing fittings. Don't bother with these. And he was 100% right.
So
they are a nightmare.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, the standard plumbing fittings are these sort of John Guest style push fit connections. That is just the way to go. These things are super simple. Jam the pipe in there, done.
Get them from any plumbing shop rather than waiting a week for them to arrive.
Darn right. We've got the tank connector connected to the tank. We've got all of our plumbing fittings on the pipe going to the tank. We also included a little stop tap, just because that's a good idea. I think we're ready to test it.
Okay, power on.
That's the sound of the fan.
Pump on.
Do it. It's going to make some noise. It's not making noise because it's already pressurised.
Just put 10 litres of water in the tank.
Yeah, I'll open this.
Oh, hold on, yeah. We're running out of water now. Round 2.
Okay, so the pump is currently on, but it's quiet, so it's pressurised. So now
But it won't be when you open that tap.
yeah, so hopefully pressure should drop. Okay, so the pressure change isn't enough to cause it to notice it. So I think you need to open the tap. I think I can hear it drinking from the tank. So do you want to close the tap and let's see if it calms down. Oh, it's not pumping dry anymore.
So the first problem, when we'd put the inner connection
So
on the inside, the little seal had flipped around and that was blocking the flow of water.
So we disconnected it, popped the seal back into place, reconnected it. It was a faff, it was really tricky, but it seems to have worked.
So that's it for this week. We've done an awful lot, haven't we?
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long day. So we've managed to get the control panels up, the heater is all installed. We finally have a water tank that doesn't leak.
We think.
Well, don't jinx anything. So that's quite exciting. Next week we're hoping to get the solar panels on the roof, so that should help charge the batteries.
And then we're going to try and get the bed put in.
So it'll start to feel really like a home then.